dumb, southern, Jersey, mullet-wearing retard. And I smell... I'm an inbred big old retard.
And we're back with the Ron and Fez Show. We are going to be at Dave & Buster's. That's the one at the White Flint Mall in Bethesda. Coming up a week from this Thursday. That's August 12th.
I can't wait for that, Fezzy. Maybe we'll bring the psychiatrist, Dr. Justin Frank, out and let him work on you a little bit. See if he can't get in the mind of Fez Whatley.
Put me on the couch for a while. I'm willing.
Wow, man. If you were going along with his diagnosis, Fez, the president doesn't like his dad at all. I always thought that his dad would have been hanging around the White House a lot more.
Yeah, and now when you think about it, it seems like they go out of their way to keep him from being seen with the president too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one nice photo op I can remember right now is the World War II memorial where the two Bushes were with President Clinton.
Well, I saw them both with all the other presidents at Reagan's funeral, and I'm trying to think of, other than the inauguration, how many times that they hung out together?
Yeah, usually only when the president now, W, goes to Kennebunkport on a vacation.
Yeah.
But usually he's in Crawford, and I've never seen the dad at Crawford.
Yeah. But I guess he's
not welcome on this ranch.
I don't think he says it that way. I think it's more inside. 866-277-4969. John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron and Fez, how you guys doing?
Cool, buddy.
Hey, I wanted to call in and talk to you about the guy you just had on about President Bush.
Yeah.
I don't think we should, you got to give President Bush the benefit of the doubt. Just because he's all that great in front of the media and in those situations doesn't mean, he's not a great leader. Also, about him and how he reacted on September 11th, just because, he waited 7 minutes doesn't mean he wasn't thinking about what was going on. And as far as flying around the country, every president in that situation, no one's ever going to allow him back into Washington, D.C. area or anywhere.
Yeah, but then stop acting like he was the hero of 9/11. That was my only problem with it. And did you see the Michael Moore movie? And I don't want to push just the Michael Moore movie.
Oh, no.
But there was not a conscious leadership thought going through his mind during that. And I defy anybody who saw that. And what always weirds me out about that is we didn't get to see it on television. And the TV people had it. There was 15 cameras there. And nobody in TV wanted to put that film out there. I
understand
weird.
that.
Yeah, we have all 7 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the media's got to, portray some sort of strength about our president.
Why? I disagree with that 1,000,000%, John. It's not their job to portray the president's strength. It's definitely not their job to do that. That's a dangerous thought when the media starts to go, how is it best for us to portray the president? Then that becomes a commercial instead of commentary, and actually they're supposed to critique them. That's the media's job. Commentary and critique.
What do you think Kerry would do in that situation if he was president on 9/11? How do you think he would have reacted when he was told that the United States was under attack?
You know what? I mean, I'm sure we don't know each person, but I'll go back through and try to think of any president, and I can't imagine him not getting up and finding out what was happening when his country was under attack. I can't imagine one other thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I was in New York at the time, and I knew what the mayor of New York did, Rudy Giuliani, and that's head towards the fire. I mean, let me just ask you this, John. What would any fireman do if he found out the country was attacked? What would any policeman do if he found out that the country was under attack?
And we know that answer because they all did it. That's why 300 firemen lost their lives.
But I mean that's kind of the leadership thing there. And I think you would expect the same thing out of the president.
But you got to understand, though, no administration in the right mind would ever allow the president to go right back to Washington, D.C.
No matter what happens, that comes after the fact. What is his initial reaction when you're sitting there in a room full of children and somebody comes over and says in your ear, Mr. President, the country is under attack. 2 planes have hit the World Trade Center. How would you still sit there? What president, when you were asking me with John Kerry, what would he do? Right. I'm going to simply say, what other president, what other man would sit? I didn't sit there when I found out that the country was under attack. You know what I did, John? I'm going to tell you exactly what I did because I was in New York City. I went running for my kids. I went to each school and grabbed my kids and get out. I can't think of another thing to do when you find out that your country's under attack. I can't think that you would think, I need to sit here. That's the part that freaks me out. Yeah, am I totally off on this?
No, I agree with you. I mean,
that's the thing, and that's out of the whole Michael Moore movie, that's the thing that actually had me stunned the most. Not so much what Michael Moore was saying about it, the way he was reacting, and the fact that nobody showed that film of 9/11. I was completely stunned by that. All right, thank you for calling, my friend. 866-277-4969. 866-277-4969. And I know that people that, like the president want to defend the president. But that's the part that always just confused me from that day, Fez.
When we talked about, with the doctor about the nation looking for a father and a leader, the thing that got to me was I really wished in the days afterwards we really had to wait for him to come out and speak a lot of times. It would be 2 or 3 days before the president made a statement about what was going on. And you mentioned the Giuliani example. That was hourly updates from that man.
And I hate to say it, but Giuliani, and this is not an attack on Giuliani, but in a way it was almost like he was in his glory. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Almost the way, like when you talk about a fireman is heads to the fire because that's where their passion is. That's what they like to do.
It's that moment that, even though it's tragic, it's what you've prepared for as a fireman, as a policeman, as an athlete even can understand that.
Doug, you're on Ron and Fez.
First of all, I agree with you guys about how the policemen have prepared, and that's what their job is. That's what they were supposed to do. But on to another issue, back what you were saying about how Bush should have reacted. Come on. I mean, do you want him to jump off going, crazy and run out of the room as fast as he can?
All right, wait a minute. Hold it. No. Here, that would have what?
Only 2 ways.
Yeah. That was what, Doug? That would have scared?
That's going to scare the kids, and that's also going to scare the people. And, I mean, what you needed at that moment was basically firm, direct action. And
yes, I agree with you 100%. That's where I agree with you. We needed firm, direct action. The weird thing about it, and I don't think that he maybe even would have done anything differently, or maybe he had nothing to, while he was flying back and forth, maybe they were just trying to bring information. But the fact that he didn't want to do something about it was stunning to me. And you don't have to jump up screaming when the country was attacked. Hey up! You would get up and say, kids, I got this phone call. I'll be back when I can. Whatever you have to say.
Well, you do what you would expect a child to do when he leaves the room. You get up, you say, "Excuse me," and you leave the room.
Yeah.
But I believe that also he didn't have all the information at that time.
No, but he wasn't going to get it out of the goat book. That's the problem.
But I believe, I didn't vote for him, and I probably won't vote for him this next time. But I got to tell you that if he had just reacted in any way else, I would have been more disturbed than I was, when I watched the 7 minutes of him sitting there. I think.
Where did you see the 7 minutes?
The principal has said that.
Where did you see the 7 minutes, Doug?
Pardon me?
Where did you see the 7 minutes?
Where did I see the 7 minutes?
Yeah.
I actually saw it around 9 months ago on the web.
Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to see the full 7 minutes, Fez, have you?
No.
The only thing that I saw was the little clip that they showed on TV when it first happened, and that was the guy whispering in his ear. And then the only other clip that I saw was what happened when I saw the Michael Moore thing. And that, I'm going to tell you the truth, when I saw how scared he looked and how his eyes were darting around, I was holding on to my chair. That actually got me into a point of anxiety. Hey, Eric, you're on the Fez.
Yeah, hey, guys. Hey, I agree with that last caller. Ron, you were a pretty brave guy getting up and going to look for your kids. I salute you for that.
No, that's bull. That is, and no way did I ever say I was a brave guy. I did what every other person did.
But no, Ron, I was at work, and I was around, I think, 20, 30 people did exactly what President Bush did. I mean, we were stunned. I mean, when would you ever have heard of this thing happening?
Then I'll give you the difference between my situation and yours. You didn't have any kids to run for that day, right?
No, you're right. You're right.
That is the difference.
Yeah,
that's literally the difference. And, a father would get up and go, Jesus Christ, I got to grab the kids. That's the first thing I got to do. Rudy Giuliani, who was kind of the father of New York, said, Jesus Christ, I got to go take care of the kids, my kids. The President Bush sat there reading a goat book, and then the word was later, he didn't freak out the kids that were reading the book with him.
I don't understand that part of it where there's only two options. Stay and finish reading The Little Goat, or run out of the room, knocking over chairs and shoving children.
Yeah,
That seems like there's only two options to people.
Yeah, and I got a couple people who emailed me that. Would you rather he got up screaming and running around? And it's just bizarre.
He's not leaving like Costanza where he shoves the old lady into the fire.
Yeah.
He can get up and leave like a person. He's the President of the United States. He's allowed to leave the room. He's not one of the children.
And, again, if it wasn't for the Michael Moore film, whether you like the film or not, this thing wouldn't even be talked about at all. Because the media immediately acted like, luckily, we are really doing something wonderful here. President Bush has grown so much as a president.
Well, the Showtime movie Zigzag, they actually had to rewrite the script to make it interesting to watch.
Here's Eddie. Eddie, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron and Fez, how's it going?
Cool, buddy.
Hey, President Bush, prior to us, getting attacked on 9/11, the last major thing was, Pearl Harbor.
Right.
So I wasn't around then, so I don't know how the president reacted when that happened.
It was awful.
But so he took a minute, he finished what he was doing. It wasn't like there was nothing going on in the United States at that point. It wasn't like our government wasn't at work. The president...
How would he know?
Well, he knows that being the president...
How does he know? How does he know what was happening? How does he know that there wasn't 40 missiles heading towards us? How does he know there wasn't 200 missiles? None of us knew.
Well, all he knew what his associates were telling him.
Yes.
And then he finished what he was doing abruptly and left.
No, 7 minutes. 7 minutes is what we're telling you.
Yeah, but it wasn't like we weren't defending the country.
How would he know? You don't know. You just hear this, right? Mr. President, the country's under attack. So you're going to sit there for 7 minutes going, I am pretty sure everything is fine. You wouldn't at least even be curious.
I don't think he was thinking everything was fine. I'm sure he was curious. And I'm sure that he knew that everybody that works for him was doing everything they possibly could do.
How would he know that? There's no possible way to know. You're the leader.
Being president, you know the government.
All right, let's just say this. All right, we have a general manager here at the radio station, Alan Line 1. If there was a fire in this studio, he would not think to himself, well, I know Ron and Fez and J-Dubs are all professionals. I'm sure they're right on top of it. They know. He would come towards the fire. It's what leaders do.
How do you know he wouldn't be like Seinfeld and run out the building?
I'm telling you the truth. It's what your leader does. That's what your leader does.
Yeah, granted, he does have people in place to handle things, to handle situations, but you have to make sure they're handling them. And I'd like to know this, too. How did he leave the room eventually? The way people are talking, he should still be in the classroom.
They came and got him and said, come on. So somebody had to finally say, come on, get up, get out of the room.
All right, so more people have to come in the room, whisper in his ear, probably take him by the elbow, direct him which door out. That's not more disturbing to the children?
The kids weren't disturbed. All they know is the president's there. They're reading to him. That's all they knew. And all you got to do is get up and say, this is great. I'll be back in the spring.
Yeah, keep up the good work. Keep up your reading.
Don't forget, punctuation is important.
They act like he's going to start screaming, we're under attack to the children.
And you know what's really weird about this, too? All right? You know, as the years go by, everybody's going to have their here's where I was on 9/11 story. There's a whole classroom of people that are going to go, I was sitting with the President of the United States.
I would love to talk to those kids when they're older.
Yeah, I mean, like when they're 80.
Yeah.
I was with the President of the United States. We were reading a book about goats.
Goats became extinct in 2065.
Here's Brenda. Brenda, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi there. How are you?
Hey.
I was just really concerned about those past few callers because I can say to them what I expected him to do was to act like a president. He didn't even know that those 7 minutes that he spent sitting there could have had an impact on the lives of those children because he didn't know where or who was being attacked. I expected him to get up and say very calmly and quietly, as we would expect him to react in any situation that way, but I'm the president, and I have to leave now.
Yeah, so, like, your thing is, what if he was targeted as he's sitting there trying not to panic the children? We had no idea whether he was a target.
He had no idea. And besides, are they forgetting the fact that those 7 minutes, the people, this nation acts, the military, they act at the pleasure of the president. They were waiting for direction. He didn't know who was giving them direction to do what, and it was his responsibility to know. So, no, he acted very irresponsible, and yes, it was scary.
If he has to give that horrible order to order planes shot down because we were still in that situation, he can't do it talking to a goat.
He's focusing on the reading itself. And then finally, like you said, they did come and grab him and gave him the Godfather, Johnny Fontaine. Act like a man! Act like a man!
I mean, you got John Edwards' story of what happened on 9/11. He said they were trying to round up congressmen to get them to safety, and he was the guy who says, hey, I was going to go home and get my wife and kids first, then get rounded up for safety.
Right.
I mean, that's the story. I mean, I don't know where the First Lady was on 9/11. I don't remember. But I know she wasn't in the classroom with the little goat.
Here's Bill. Bill, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, you guys. How you doing?
Yeah.
Say, I think the psychology of a president is very important, but I'd much rather have one who has troubles with his father and who needs a lot of structure in his life, and who therefore will have a lot of structure in his White House. I think that's a lot better than having someone like Bill Clinton who just brought chaos.
All right, good point. But so you don't like Bill Clinton, right?
Absolutely.
Imagine if you sat there while the country was being attacked and saw Bill Clinton reading the child's book. Would you still say, hey, that's all he could do?
I'd think the guy's an idiot.
Right.
I'd be disappointed, as I was disappointed in Bush for sitting there for those 7 or 8 minutes.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for being honest, because I agree the same way. You know, you could be such a homer, like, this is my guy, that you can get beyond the obvious thing of, man, that was not acting like a leader would act. Or an adult. Or a man.
Yeah, I mean, just say sitting with the kids where it felt safe.
I don't think he felt safe. I don't think he was sitting there feeling good. I think, and I'm only taking it from the shots I saw during that movie. So maybe somehow I've been prejudiced this. And this is the thing I most got out of the movie. I thought he was all but dropping one in his pants. I thought he just didn't know what to do. We're going to take a break. We're right back. It's the Ron and Fez Show.